Oh, shit. I need somebody here now, please. It had a bomb go off in here.
My ambulance station just completely exploded. I've got a nursing home and an ambulance station and an air evac. I need as many East Texas trucks as you can send this way.
I got West Fire out on a fire at the West Fertilizer plant. They just advised that something exploded there and they have firefighters down.
All of our windows just broke. I don't know what happened, and the house shook and the power went out.
10 years ago, the small Texas town of West suffered an unimaginable tragedy at this very spot. On the evening of April 17, 2013, roughly 30 tons of ammonium nitrate caught fire and exploded.
The disaster took the lives of 15 people and injured 260. And with a town of 2,800 people, the disaster touched the lives of everyone here.
From the first sign of trouble to the deadly blast, mere minutes passed. Let's go ahead and run you through the timeline.
At roughly 7:29 p.m., residents and a West police officer report smoke at the West Fertilizer Company. The officer then confirmed flames in the facility's storage building and notified the West Volunteer Fire Department.
As firefighters are dispatched to the scene, a police officer begins evacuating the nearby city park. Other emergency responders rush to nearby neighborhoods to alert residents.
West fire officials at the scene begin battling flames as other volunteer firefighters in town for training also respond when the city's sirens are activated. Just 20 minutes after the initial reports of smoke, the West Fertilizer Company explodes.
3 years after the fire, the ATF announces investigators believe the fire was intentionally set, with all other possible causes ruled out. A decade later, there's still no arrest, and a $50,000 reward remains unclaimed. Perhaps no one feels the impact of what happened here in West more than those who lost a loved one. I covered this tragedy live 10 years ago for what became a defining moment for Central Texas. A short time later, I kept hearing about one of the firefighters who died. He was always wearing a smile, would do pretty much anything for anyone, and rushed to the scene as the fire grew. I've gotten to know his family over the years. This is their story. Time in West moves at its own pace. It's even more true if you live most of your life here.
Well, it's,
and will never leave.
It's like I'm about to put mulch around these trees here.
Joe Puchovsky stops by this spot often. He calls home only one street over, and it's here among 15 markers of remembrance near the train track where he feels closest to what happened.
I haven't forgotten anything about that day.
And who he lost.
You better be prepared for something because it's coming. If it hadn't happened to you yet, it's going to something. Something's going to happen.
In the small Czech community of about 2,500, April 17th, 2013 started as the type of Wednesday where Little League softball is in full swing. Until 7/29, when the fertilizer plant that once stood here on the edge of town suddenly caught fire. 22 quick minutes later.
I knew he was there. I don't know where, but I knew he was there. And so it was irky feeling, I tell you.
He was Joey Jr., a volunteer firefighter and the town secretary. The 29-year-old was one of 12 first responders to die that night.
Certainly a healing process, and 10 years is a long time, but at the same time, never forget.
To help, Dad's staying busy, helping design the town's memorial site, raising a grandson, and wondering about a future cut short.
What would he be doing now, And those kind of things is what I think about, Once again, it doesn't change anything. It's just, just things that pass through your mind.
Tragedy drives some families apart. It brings others closer together.
All my life.
All your life?
All my life.
For Carolyn, the explosion that claimed her son's life changed her own forever.
Just thinking about if, what, could have, should have, it's just etched. I mean, that's a memory that he cannot erase.
She comes to the memorial nearly every day, and as a family, they're now at a place of acceptance, no matter how painful.
Joey died doing what he loved to do, so I can't complain as a mother.
Call them a family and a larger community, pushing ahead while honoring the memory of those they lost one fateful night 1 decade ago.
That's the way West is, and that's the way they will always be, and that's why I want to continue to cling to this town.
The investigation was never solved, and no one was ever arrested for the fire or the subsequent explosion.
We know a fire was intentionally set, and so therefore we have a crime that was committed. So now we have a criminal act.
That was from almost 7 years ago. The ATF is still the lead investigating agency on the case. We reached out to the Houston field office, and they tell us it's still an open investigation. They declined an on-camera interview.
West is a pretty small town. Everyone pretty much knows everyone else. Although some folks lost everything, neighbors stepped in to help.
Nick Bradshaw has a story of community and the human spirit.
It's where rain is always welcome.
That train actually made the city. It got a whole lot louder. The
train's always coming through here all the time.
Welcome to West. And on any given day, you'll find Maria Galvin working here at this thrift store. It's pretty much a calling.
Yes, and that's what makes me feel good now.
It's getting down low now.
But on April 17th, 2013.
Oh, you okay?
Dad?
You okay?
I can't hear.
Come here.
I can't hear. Get out of here. Please get out of here.
I need somebody here now. They just advised that something exploded there and they have firefighters down.
Life of the itty-bitty town would change forever.
And there has been an explosion on the fire scene. There are firefighters down at this time.
People started coming in without no shoes, no jacket.
Destroying more than 50 homes.
My brother was dying, and he had tumors in his head, and he drove all the way from Downsville and brought a big cross. He set it in front of my store for people to come and light their candles.
The blast killing 15.
Just losing the clientele that we had here. They were elderly people. They were so sweet, so nice, and they would just come in here to talk to us.
In the last 10 years, there is new life, but with reminders of what could have been and what used to be.
It affected a lot of people.
Mayor Tommy Muska near the blast that Wednesday evening.
And then I saw the air come across the field there and knock me down. I think the explosion is definitely part of our history. We can't escape what happened. We're not going to hide what happened. They're going to be defined by how they handled the event afterwards, and that is that they pulled up their bootstrap.
In small-town America, they say it takes a village to raise a family. It took a village to recover from a disaster.
And help people out.
Well, I lost about seven good friends.
And I love this town, yes I do.
It's a great little town. It's a beautiful little city. You know, it's friendly.
A rough road, but back on track, beating the odds.
This is my town here.
Donations were flooding in from all across the state, with local organizations raising tens of thousands of dollars for the first responders.
Alicia Nespreto tells us how Texans stood together during a most difficult time.
In 1953, a group of police officers in Houston started the 100 Club. It expanded to McLennan County in 2012, roughly 1 year before the explosion that shook the city of West. Originally, the club raised money for only the families of fallen police officers, but that changed on April 17, 2013.
There was such a outreach from the community wanting to do something, and there was such an outreach on the board wanting to do something.
The desire to help was so overwhelming, the club opened their policy to help firefighter families as well.
Well, the support was just tremendous, and it just tells you the good in people when there's a tragedy.
More than $70,000 was raised for the families of the 12 volunteer firefighters who lost their lives that day.
We had donations coming in from first of all over this area, all over the heart of Texas area. And we had donations coming in from all over the state. And if I remember right, we even had some donations coming in from outside the state of Texas.
Brent Stroman is the executive director of the 100 Club. He was also Waco's chief of police at the time.
We had a small dispatch area at that time, the basement of the police department, and I remember just being twice as many people down there as usual, handling the traffic, radio traffic.
Stroman said it was an all-hands-on-deck situation, and Waco PD was just one of the many surrounding cities who sent their first responders to the area.
The response was fantastic. It was just overwhelming from the first responder community all the way from police, fire, ambulances, to the community members themselves. And that response was the same type of response that we saw when people that couldn't be there and couldn't help, wanted to do something else, and they wanted to do that through donations.
Those donations continued to pour in until August, when they were able to give it to the families.
And it was just absolutely tragic event, and we were just glad we were there to be able to help them with it.
When the explosion devastated his town, a West pastor opened his doors to the living.
Next, hear the inspiring story of faith and service to a congregation living with devastating loss. Let's talk about the compound in the deadly West explosion. Ammonium nitrate is one of the most common farming fertilizers in the world, commonly used since the 40s.
But it also appears in some explosives like TNT. Fertilizer-grade ammonium nitrate is stable on its own and considered relatively safe, but that's only if it's protected from contaminants and stored properly.
And the West Fertilizer Company underestimated the danger of storing fertilizer-grade ammonium nitrate in ordinary combustible structures.
That's because when ammonium nitrate's exposed to high heat and pressure, its chemical bonds break apart, releasing oxygen, nitrogen, and water vapor with tremendous force, leading to detonation. The West explosion was difficult for everyone in the community. I talked to one pastor who lost his own home in that fire and explosion, but then spent the next year helping the entire community. He tells me the 10th anniversary is the perfect time to remember how far they've come and to honor those who sacrificed so much. The First Baptist Church of West is a place of worship and praise, but after the West explosion, it became a beacon of hope.
And when volunteers show up, they don't know what to do. They don't know who's who or who needs what. So our church became the hub.
John Crowder remembers first getting the call that the fertilizer plant had exploded.
One of my deacons called. He told me that the fertilizer plant had exploded. That just didn't make sense in my world. About 30 seconds later, he called back and he said, "John, I don't think you understand. You don't have a home to go to, and you probably don't have a dog to check on."
Like many others that night, his focus was on family.
My first priority was to reunite my family. Once I saw my daughter, knew she was okay, and she knew we were okay, my wife and daughter went to stay with a deacon, and then I was able to come on into town and start doing what I could do to help.
Devastation was widespread, so he did the one thing he does best.
Just kind of be there. I did a lot of praying with people, a lot of crying with people.
Then he turned the church into a hub, calling in the Texas Baptist men who help in disaster relief and recovery to help the town of West. Now it's been 10 years, and although they've remembered every year,
the 10th anniversary is different from other anniversaries. There's more media attention, there's more interest. People outside of West are remembering what happened.
But there's one thing this anniversary means to him.
And the 10th anniversary is the perfect time to celebrate what we've done and remember those who sacrificed so much for us.
Fertilizer explosions actually have a long history in the U.S., but did you know the worst one happened right here in Texas?
When we come back, survivors of the Texas City disaster talk about the nation's deadliest industrial accidents.
One of the biggest dangers for people in West, simply not knowing those hazardous chemicals were in their backyard.
In fact, 10 years later, Texans have no way of knowing if it's stored right across the street from you. A year after West, Then Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott issued an opinion restricting public information on ammonium nitrate, a direct challenge to existing state law.
But new legislation in 2015 granted state and local fire marshals access to sites, though the state only inspected 7 buildings last year.
The deadliest industrial accident in the United States happened 76 years ago, just 40 miles outside of Houston.
The Texas City disaster killed nearly 600 people, injured thousands, and for the survivors, they still feel the pain and the loss.
In Texas City, you can still feel it in the air. It's a tension under the surface, ghost from a darker time still there to remind the living. To understand it, you have to go back just after the Second World War. The year 1947, France and much of Europe in ruin, with millions starving in need of fresh food.
You do what you have to do to survive. France was still a nation primarily of small family farms. And yeah, they were short of everything, labor, fertilizer, anything that makes it easier to farm.
Texas City on the front lines of the fight against hunger, shipping ammonium nitrate fertilizer for farms overseas. On the morning of April 16th, one ship in port sat waiting, loaded with dangerous cargo.
It was a French ship, the Grand Camp, so they were loading up sacks of ammonium nitrate. In the war, it was used to make bombs, but what they were shipping it for was for fertilizer.
8 a.m., smoke rises from the cargo hold. The ship's captain orders hatches sealed, hoping to choke the flames. Instead, the fertilizer liquefies.
I was just a kid. I wasn't even in school yet. I remember my aunt taking me by my hand and running. And I remember turning back and looking at the smoke. It was so beautiful. It was black and orange, and it was just really pretty.
By 8:30, crowds come out to watch the red-orange smoke while firefighters battle the flames. 9:12 a.m., disaster. 2,300 tons of ammonium nitrate explode. One of the largest non-nuclear blasts in history.
I heard this loud noise and shaking of the ground. I found that everybody around me was dead except me, and all I could think of was, why me and who am I?
Hundreds died and thousands were hurt in the first blast. As Texas City burned, people searched for their loved ones.
When the first explosion went off, we went over to my grandmother's and they went out looking for my grandfather, but they never found him. That was rather traumatic. Even as a 5-year-old, I remember always praying, please bring Pappy back. Let us find where he is. So he was just one of the unknown.
Another ship loaded with ammonium nitrate drifted towards the fire. 15 hours later, KTHT Radio's Ben Kaplan captured what happened live on the air.
Here comes another explosion. The sky.
You have just heard it. We are bending down. The sky is like broad daylight. No one knows what it is from where we are. We have all hit the ground.
Rescue workers used the high school gym as a morgue. Survivors learning to live with the loss and grief.
You may come to grips with it, or you may think you're dealing with it, but as it'll come back to haunt you, you never get over it, you just deal with it.
But for the town of Texas City, it was a tragedy that brought them together.
They pulled together on that day like a team. So when other towns were having trouble with integration, it didn't happen here. They were already bonded.
Memories of a darker past, still there to remind the living.
Still to come, a look back on our reporting of the West explosion.
Yeah, former 25 News anchors Ann Harder and Bruce Geetson sit down with Matt Hines to retell it as it happened 10 years ago.
News Channel 25 Night Beat.
Structures, homes, buildings in the city of West have just imploded because of this.
Man, pretty amazing. 10 years ago, we saw that. The gang's back together, the old team here. We have Bruce Geetson, who was the anchor back then, Ann Harder, who still does a lot here on 25 ABC, and of course, I'm Matt Hines. And we went through a night then, didn't we?
We did, indeed.
It was one of those breaking news nights you never forget.
You know, in that kind of a situation, you have everybody who's available to come into the newsroom to work, and you start calling in reporters who had just gotten off. You get in a situation like that, and we have a responsibility, and I know you guys agree, to let people know what is happening.
Both of y'all were already on. I was still at home. So I was like, well, I got to go because I heard y'all say the word explosion. So I back out. My mother-in-law was actually visiting at the time. Actually backed into her car because I was in such a hurry. I forgot her car was there. But yeah, I got to the station here, and our news director at the time, he greeted me with a hazmat book and said, we need a forecast about the hazardous materials here. I was like, oh, okay, this just got really big. And then I started queuing in on what y'all were saying. And we started doing live coverage, not just of the news, but of weather too, because we had a cold front come in that day or that evening, and it was going to shift all the winds from south to north. And so I called the weather service. They modeled some data for us, and they had the triage unit not too far away on the football field, and they moved it because of forecasting, and they knew that that front was going to come in, and that could have blown some of those chemicals their way.
And West really did step up for something as horrific as this to happen, because our first concern is public safety.
We know that you're on the edge of your seat wanting as much information as you can. We know that something just big happened, and so it's our responsibility to try to get to you. And so that's what we were doing for a long time. But just the fact that it is a privilege to have you invite us in your home, especially on an occasion like that.
And that's what I always say. Thank you for trusting us.
Even 10 years later, the tragic moments from that day in West are no easier to forget. Thank you so much for joining us for these stories of that fateful day in West.
To learn a little bit more, go ahead and find a special section on our website called The West Explosion: A Decade Later. Finally, we leave you with a look back at the lives lost on that day.